This is Jane Shaw, if you haven't met me. And this is Lunch with a Magician. Number two, I should have put on there. I should have put on there number two. So I don't know if that first part played. Maybe the first part was just me talking. Anyway, this is Jane Shaw. Lunch with a Magician, number two. I forgot to put number two. Maybe I'll remember to put number three. But hello, happy February. If you're Eastern time or so, I hope you're having lunch. I did already have my lunch. I do have some lemon water again because obviously I like lemon water. And I'm home, so I can cut some fresh lemons and put it in there. But yeah, it's a new month. It's February. And I had a few things that I was thinking about to talk with you all with. And several of you responded and said you might try to be here today, so hopefully you are, and I'll watch for comments. I'm not an expert at watching the comments and responding, but if there are some, I'm doing my best. So I'm sure I'll get better and better. But, I hadn't really meant to have like an ongoing theme or anything like that, but the theme of love was what I was thinking about today, and I realized it really plays on that interview I was talking about from last time, where the gentleman that said, Ian McKellen said, if we addressed each other as love, how it would change things. And I've been thinking a lot about love. I guess February is the month of love and all that good stuff, but so maybe it's just in the air. I'm wearing my yellow sweater today. I had forgotten about it. I really love it. I don't have as much occasion to wear it anymore, but when I bought it, my daughter called it my sunshine sweater, and it always makes me feel really happy to wear it. And it got cold again today in Virginia, so I'm wearing that, and I've been thinking on the theme of do only what you love. Do only what you love. That sounds really nice. It sounds really nice, and I think at different stages in your life, um, it's easier to grasp what it means. When you're a child or a toddler, that's what you do anyway until other people make you do other stuff. And then you become a young adult. And I think it's great advice to receive as a young adult. It's good advice to give a young adult. It's great advice to give anyone. And I feel like it's easier to capture when you're young and fresh and charging into the world. And I'm going to do what I love. I'm going to do only what I love. And then life often, I think, for a lot of people gets very busy and clouded and obscured, and maybe that's just the journey of being a human, and then you find in older age, where are you then? And your life becomes so full. I think that's it can be a challenge to remember what you love. It can be a challenge to not see all the other things to be doing. And for me personally, I feel challenged by February. I don't know where you are or where you live, but I feel like here in Southwest Virginia, it has been February for 60 days because it's been not cold enough to snow. The ground hasn't frozen. We just had a lot of rain and mud and 40-degree weather. We'll get a little nicer day, a little colder day, and it's just February. And I don't know about for you, it is a process of mine to learn to love the winter, and I'm working on it. My friend Terry Willingham talked today. She's in Texas and she's been chopping ice and just talking about the energy shift when you kind of go out and you're like, I gotta chop this ice and it's really hard and I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna have to do it again. And then you shift the energy to like, I'm really glad I have an axe. I'm really glad I'm strong enough to use it. I'm glad I'm stable enough not to slip. This ice is really beautiful, actually, and like what a special time that we don't get to experience this very much. And you can feel that energy shift, right? The first one is like closed and contracted, and the next one is open and expanded. And like, thank you, Terry, for the reminder, because for me, a lot of times it's easy to say one, but then the other, but then you just get a mix mash of energies. But in February is usually the time of year I am done with winter. Like I can't take it anymore. So to have it like extended for this long, I will say it was quite a challenge to find something that I love right about now. Like I really have to go deep in my mind to look for it. Um, but I have found this thing to be true, and I was talking with someone this over the weekend. If you are wanting to experience something, like you want to feel that feeling of being in love with what you're doing, like passionate about what you're doing, or you want to feel whatever you want to feel. You want to feel happy, or you want to feel remembered or taken care of or seen. One of the best tricks that I have found to generating that feeling for yourself, I mean, there's a lot, but one of the best things to do is to give it away. So go love somebody, right? Go love somebody. Go happiness, and just like deliberately think of, so I know that's so, it can be really corny and trite, and like you'll see it in a lot of things. Go, be generous and kind. But I will say, even from like a very selfish standpoint, when there's a certain feeling you want to feel, like a friendship, right? Go and be a friend. You want to feel abundant, go and be generous. You want to feel patient, go and be like kindly patient with an animal, or someone who maybe needs a little more time being around, or someone in traffic, or a child. Um, and when you give it away, it doesn't matter whether you're receiving it or you're giving it away, you're experiencing it. And that's like a really powerful way to take charge of your own experience, and like to, it's pretty cool, because I think you only later realize, like, wow, I put something good out there and I received it. So it's almost like you received double. So that is a good hack that I have found. When you want something so bad and you feel like the world is not giving it to you, and you can't figure out how to get it from the world, or from your partner, or from your friend, or your employer, or your boss, and you may be like me, a little bit stubborn, like, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it to you. I want you to give it to me. Um, Try to get through that little hump. Just say, hey, for an experiment, not getting it anyway. Let me try to go give that away, and watch what happens, because when I remember to do it, it works so well. And and when you're in that space of doing what you love, being what you love, it's like Terry said, your energy shifts, you're just expanded, you're just bigger, and the world just opens up and blossoms for you. And one thing I came across this past week, I saved the photo on my phone. Um, it was on a National Geographic, it's on their Instagram account. I don't have a National Geographic account, so I couldn't read the whole article because I couldn't log in. But it had pictures. It was talking about elderly people in Japan. Japan has one of the oldest populations in the world. And it was 4 photos, but the 2 that struck my mind, there was one of the oldest geishas still working in Japan, Ikuko Akasaka, 82, has been performing for 64 years. Her work is physically and psychologically demanding, but she continues to learn new things and polish her art. But this is what I thought was really powerful. She said, to stay healthy is to have desire for life and to show gratitude for others, she says. And the second one that I absolutely adored, I'll share the photo in the credits and article in the comments, so you can check it out if you want. Maybe I need to do like a little blog or something with this to have like the information I share. Y'all let me know if you want that. But anyway, Tara Katsuda, 89, and his wife Ichi, they were happily married and living by themselves in a small apartment. But the one that really caught my eye was Fumi Takino. She's 90. She's the new founder and the oldest member of Japan Pom Pom, a senior cheer squad in Tokyo for 26 years. Right, so that's going to put her at 64. Takino, that's when she started, right? Takino's practiced once a week. It's important to be yourself and do what you want to do, she said, regardless of your age. Young, old, middle, whatever you want to call yourself. And I think, and you often see, maybe you don't often see, I often see, if you want more, I'll send them to you because I see them all the time, but stories, quick photos, articles about those who've lived well into many years of life. And there's always an element of like loving what you do. Whether they've contradicted like current health trends and like, they drink 1 Pepsi a day for their entire life, but they love that Pepsi. Or this woman who loves to cheer, or this person who says, I cultivate, there's something I love to do, a passion for what I do, and I do it. And I think, tell me what you think about this. I think that it is that calling forth, that love for something, the passion for something, that is calling like life force through it. And I think it overcomes the decline. I mean, there's so many theories about aging and cells and cell renewals, and it's changing all the time. They used to think brain was plastic, it never could change, and now they find no, it's regenerative. So like research is changing all the time to show like, what our cells are doing, what aging is doing, and how to not necessarily prevent aging, but like how to live life well, right? And if you know people are older, the ones who are like, who really And the ones who are middle-aged, right? Or the ones in their 20s who are really living something that they like. It really actually doesn't matter what your age. When you're living something that you love, you're alive. And otherwise you kind of like cut off a little bit there. Um and then I love those ideas. I love to think about those things. I love to read those stories. I love to imagine that for myself. And then I have days, where I'm like, I had it yesterday actually. I had gone, was working, and then I had brought the kids home, and I had a little bit of time before I really needed to like make dinner or do anything for the evening. I thought, oh, what can I do with this time? And I just felt this blank, like terrible blank space. Like I could do something I enjoy doing, and I was like, I don't know what I enjoy doing. I don't know what I enjoy doing. I don't know. And that, more and more I think it's just that you can get into a space of not knowing what you enjoy. There's probably a space you can go back to in your mind and remember what you enjoy, but it may take a little of intention, because if you're not in the habit of doing what you love, of loving what you do, of doing what you enjoy, you just, it's like if it's lost to you, you can't find it, right? You're just not in the space. You are not in the vibration. You're just not in the place of it. And you got to kind of slow that energy down and then go and find again what you love. Again, you can apply the trick. You can love what you do, practice it, right? Practice loving what you do. Like if you find yourself in like a daily monotony of work, caring for people, caring for home, you've accumulated all this stuff, right? And then you're like, most of your days are taken up like caring for it or providing or maintaining it. If you can find a way to love that, right? Change your thinking about it, like you're making dinner. Like for me, a challenge can often be making dinner, because a lot of times at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't really care if I eat dinner. But I have children, and they should have a good, healthy dinner. And one of them right now really loves to cook too. So we have a lot of time spent in the kitchen, which is really wonderful, right? Like it's a really good time to spend with a teenage son who might otherwise not chat so much with you. But I have to sometimes tell myself, I love that I can get all the groceries that I need. I love that I can have a healthy array of groceries. I love like loving my family through nourishing them. I love, and just switch that from I have to make dinner because, oh my gosh, right? That's the whole contracting energy versus the expanding energy. And I think practicing loving what you do will help you find what you love to do. I'm not always there. I had a recent experience. This was just about 2 weeks ago. I had taken my oldest down to Miami. He was going to go play soccer in Argentina, and I had to go by a bank. I was having a little trouble finding it, and I finally found a branch that was open, and I had to wait for a long time, and I wasn't exactly sure how to do what I needed to do. And so I probably just bleh, what is the kids? Yeah, I overshared about my life at the moment and what was going on, and the man behind the teller machine he looked at me and he was like, well, that's awesome, Mom. Like, he goes, and Mom, what's your dream? Like, Mom's got to have a dream too. What are you doing? And in that moment, even though that's something that I talk a lot about and I coach people on and I work with people about, like in that moment, I was a little lost. And it brought me almost to tears because I couldn't articulate it to him. And I don't know if it's because I wasn't used to telling strangers in a bank what my dreams are, or if it shifted for me in that moment. But I think the most powerful thing was this man doing his job as teller in the bank. He wasn't just being a bank teller, but he's he's being a human, and he's giving what he had to give to whoever was in the line. And I felt that love, and I'm sure he felt that love too. And that was I don't know if you have moments like that. I love moments like that. I don't always know what to do with them. I don't know if they mean anything particularly, but it jolts me out of where I've been and reminds me of who I am and where I'm going and what I'm doing. And yeah, I do really love that. I do really love that. So I think it's a process. I think it's a journey. I think, there's a lot of pithy sayings out there. There's a lot of cute little photos with poems or whatever that we can share. Um, but truly, the process of doing what you love is a it's an adventure. It's an adventure. It's an adventure. And you may, at any point in your life, you might be young and not know what it is. You might be older and not know what it is. You may be somebody who was born with something in your heart and it never once changes. Or you may be a little like me, a little squirrel. I love this, I love that, I love this. I don't know, do I love anything? Um, but for all of it, it's something different. And I think that it is very powerful to spend time thinking about it, to spend time attempting it, adventuring with it, because I do believe that every minute that you spend loving something, whether it's your job, your hobby, your cat, your new furniture, your partner, your mother, your father, your auntie, your friend, your neighbor, your pen, right? Your new water bottle, your old water bottle, whatever it is, the flowers, the cold, the gray, the more minutes, every minute that you spend in your life loving something is an expansive moment. It's like it is the highest energy I think we can be in. So whether you're giving the love or you're receiving the love, you're going to have more of what you love in your life. You're going to be more of what you love. And so I wanted to finish with something that I'm going to go. It's an exercise I did recently, and I hope it's all right. It is from a gentleman, Philip Cargom, in England, and it's a class that I took, a short class of his. And it's a short exercise I did recently, and I think it would be of value for me to do again. So I'm going to do it again, and I'll invite you to give it a try. But if you have a struggle of figuring out what you love, or maybe even if you do know what you love, but you're wherever you are on it, I don't know, just you can give it a try. You make 3 lists. So things that you would love to have, and let it out, right? Just get a sheet of paper and let it all out. Everything you love to have. Nobody's looking at this list, so you don't have to censor yourself. You don't need to feel guilty or like nobody needs to have a yacht, but I would love to have a yacht. Whatever it is, make a list. Everything you would ever think of that to love to have, whatever pops into your mind. And when you're doing an exercise like this, just piece of paper, pencil, pen, feet on the floor, 3 deep breaths, and go. Don't hesitate, don't censor yourself, just let it out. The next column, you're going to write down all the things you would love to do. What would you love to do? I love to go surfing. I would love to ride in a hot air balloon. I would love to travel. I love to, I love to, all the things you can think of you'd love to do. I'd love to sit by a fire on a quiet night by myself with my cat, or read a book, whatever it is that you would love. Just let your imagination run wild. And if you can't think of anything, just pretend that you can. Write all those down. And then the third column, or third sheet of paper, however, it depends on how much you got and how big your handwriting is being. How do you love to be? So for being, that's a little different, right? I love it. On the days you wake up and you feel, oh, I just feel so good. There's a bluebird on your shoulder. I love to be happy. I love to be content. I love to feel loved. I love to feel appreciated. I love to feel satisfied. I love to feel adventurous. I love to feel fast, I'm moving fast. I love to feel powerful. I love to feel all of those good feelings, all those states of being, and write all those down. And then spend a little time with them, but in the reverse order from what I think we mostly do. Like Philip said, and I think it's right, we tend to focus on having the things. First, here's my list. So how can I have these things so that I can do these things so that I can be this thing, right? And what I would invite or challenge or however, whatever inspires you more, is just to spend till next Wednesday just being the way that you love to be. Practice just being the way you love to be. So if you love to be just quiet and simple and content, practice that a little bit in the evening or a little bit in the morning, and see what flows from it. Because usually what will flow is that then you'll find yourself doing the things you love, and somehow you end up having the things that you love as well. And maybe you have a different way of being. Maybe you love to feel alive and fast moving and energetic and being out with people, and you like that social happy feeling. Practice that. So gather up some friends or or just focus on being that way with the people that you're with, and watch that grow for the week. So I'm going to do that. I invite you to do it and let me know how it goes. And yeah, so I think that's all I have for this week. And I hope that something has landed for you, or um, it's been interesting to you. I'd still love to hear your thoughts and comments about things you'd like to talk about, topics you'd like to explore. Um, if you'd like to hop on and chat with me, let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next Wednesday. All right. See you. Happy February.